photographing a 100-mile stage that goes from one point to another. It's not a loop. So my intention is I'm driving here up to Tremonton to the start, and I'm going to photograph the start of the race. Then I'm going to try and leapfrog ahead and get to a couple other spots. So I'm going to take you through the edit and how that all works. So these are some of the photos I got out of this. I'll take you through some of those. First off, fans kind of watching, I'm going for environment here. I'm not going for who's the leader, who's the winner. I'm kind of showing scenery. I want to show location, and I'll get some of that other stuff as well. But for me, it's like I'm going for kind of a different look than a lot of people. I want to place the race in its spot. Here's the entire raw take, every frame I photographed today. Just starting through, I'm going quick. I've got a lot of photos to go through, and I'm looking for home runs. You know, these days, I don't have time to be putting out, I just don't choose to put out 30 mediocre photos. I want to put out just the good stuff, and so that's what I'm after. And going for like a unique look is also important. So these days I'm, and you can see this is the common problem with the tour of like this. There's always people in front of you, motorcycles, marshals. It's kind of like you're trying to get something interesting. But another thing I do a lot now is I'll use a lens that no one else has. And that'll be like something really wide, really telephoto. This is a 600. Which I've been using a lot, and I love the 600 because, so there's one shoot I've got five possible shots that I like out of that set. I'll edit that first area first, and we'll go through it, but I really like having something different. In this corner, this angle, just what happens in a cycling race like this when you're on your own and you're in one spot. It moves by so fast. You're not going to have time to really work a scene. All of these 3 locations, just things are moving so quickly. You just don't have time to really work it. I wish I had something better with these kids. I mean, gosh. I should have focused more on them. I love this kid down here. Is great. I should have focused more on these kids than I did on the racers. But, you do what you have to do. It really was spurts of activity. I really like the kid covering their ears. Okay, so in this context sheet, I've gotten those 2. Okay, so from the start, I'm looking at these. So you can see I've colored them purple. Now what I'll do is I'll color anything purple will stay in the mix. Anything that goes to red will not. I have stuff like this later on that I think will be fine. That one I don't need. So let's go red. Let's keep the one with the kids. See how you got the kids' faces? I think that's the shot, even though you have kind of this down here. So we will end up with one select from that. And this one we're going to have to choose. I think we're going to go here. So this one's out, and we are left with 2 photos for starters. At this point, I'm driving to a second location. I'm getting ahead of the race, and I'm trying to find an interesting spot with a good angle for a long and a wide shot. Let's go to our second spot. I'm going to edit every take first. So winning starts here. I like this kid. Just waiting. But what I need is, it really called for something loose and something tight. if that makes any sense. You need to see the shirt, but you also need the scene, So I don't know. And this is the kind of shot that's tougher and tougher in today's world of photography. In the old days, we could give this photo some space in the paper so that it really read. And now online, it's just everything is so small. Okay, anyway, this is a test frame, kind of like what I want to have. I want to have the Peloton coming down this. And this is the perfect spot that I found because down below this hill is all the support cars that come in front of the Peloton could be below the hill out of vision, and then I have the Peloton here. We will see if that happened because things get really chaotic. There are a lot of vehicles on the road. You have people pulling up and stopping in front of you. It's just very difficult to get what you want. So these are all kind of test angles, like different. I could have the Peloton coming down, and here's they start to, support crews starting to come through. And here we have a breakaway, some riders coming down. I'll tag that one. I don't know that it will make the final cut. And I like the heat waves on this. So the 600, it's such a long lens. You get some cool stuff. That number, they've been calling me for a few weeks. I wish I knew who it was. And I like the road going up behind, so maybe it's... Okay, so I'll tag a couple, and I'll choose which I like best later. So, and then I've got some close... I don't really need these close-ups of the breakaway, to me. I'm looking for scenery rather than results today. It's day 2. The work we're doing isn't... Or the work I'm doing, well, I'm not really going to say. It all happened so fast that the shot I wanted doesn't really come together, but you get what you can. I think coming down on the hill, maybe that, okay. And see, this idiot here, I have my spot lined up a half hour ahead of time, and someone on a moto comes up, pulls up, and they don't have a 600, so they're wanting to be closer on the hill. I get it, but you can't count on having a position. And these guys stayed there until it was really too late for me to get what I wanted. And there's really nothing you can do about it. Okay, Peloton on the climb. And see here, I have another moto in a way. The photos you think you're going to get, you just never get. Anytime you plan this stuff. Well, see, I was thinking I'd like the group with the yellow jersey in there. Maybe that. I kind of stayed on him for a while. It gets tight. So that's them heading into Deweyville. Just a record shot so I know. Okay, so I picked 11 out of that set. I'm going to come back and narrow that down. Okay. Here's our guy. That just looks kind of static. I don't like any of those. Okay. So out of this set, I think I'm going to ditch that. Keep this. Ditch. Ditch. Keep. Oh, wait. Keep. Ditch. Keep. Ditch. Keep. So that gives us 6. And then again, I'm going to get ahead of the race on the freeway, and I'm going to try and find another position. This third position worked okay. Not the greatest, but, you'll see. This is my last position. I have two different takes, two different cameras from this position, which is Rocky Point. I wanted an angle that was kind of up. It was kind of ugly. There wasn't a lot of great locations for this last shoot before I got into the city. I wanted to show kind of the northern Utah, middle of nowhere look, and I don't know that I got it. So this is with the 6, and I'm going, this isn't going to be the strongest angle or lens. I think the spot was pretty cool, but see, none of these are really doing it for me. Okay, here's some other stuff. This is what I shot when they were coming at me. So we got a breakaway. This is great. Thanks for the construction site. But as they get closer in, maybe I'm going to mark that one. And I'm going to mark that, just to kind of look at these in a minute. And then the full peloton starts to come through. And I'm kind of shooting through this little tree, which I thought would be a cool look. Sometimes they aren't, though, when you get back and really start to look at things. It doesn't turn out how you thought it would. This is a challenge because this was where I wanted to stay on the peloton. Maybe it's that. I love all those helmets and stuff, but you just need like a much longer lens to really nail it. And the tree is doing the opposite of what I wanted. Okay. We're going to play around with some of these. So I'm just firing as many as I can because this is happening so quickly. And that is that take. So out of that take, I've got 9. And if I go through those now, kind of like the position of the bikes. We're going to lose, keep. Keep, lose. I'm going to see what I can do with that. Lose. See what I can do with that. So I'm not really sold on all of those. Okay, and my last 108 frames. Here's the breakaway coming wide. It's hard to edit when you have such a series here. I'll mark one of those and mark maybe that one. Okay, looking just for the separation of the bikes. And then here is the group coming in. And I think this would be the takeaway shot from this angle, is this cool scene of northern Utah with the bikes all lined up. We'll see which one of these really works. Okay, so that's that take. Oops. So I have 6. I'm going to keep the breakaway. Lose that one. And then it's a matter of finding the one I like best of this. I think it's got to be the wider one. You know, I might like... out. So that leaves me with 3. And here I originally had like 18 minutes of me going through Lightroom, cropping and toning and talking about it. And it kind of, bored me. We're already 17 minutes in. Let's keep this a little shorter. I'll be going over a lot of this stuff as we go forward. So I got a lot to talk about, workflow, archiving, geotagging. We'll get to all of it eventually. Okay, let me give you my candid takes on the photos here that I've picked as the ones I like. I should have worked this longer. It's okay, he's a little static. I don't know. You'll notice this is cropped differently than the one I sent. I like this better. This one I like. I wish I was lower, had more of that yellow, but there were cars, motorcycles, marshals kind of buzzing me out of the way. So be it. Kind of didn't work, kind of did work. I don't know. And this one I wish was wider. I wish I had more of the environment. The people were smaller in the frame. It was close.